It's a summer evening. You open your back door for 30 seconds. That's all it takes. Mosquitoes are inside your house now. So you grab the spray, the candle, the zapper. Every one of those products only activates after the mosquito is already indoors. A $3 magnetic mesh stops them at the door before they ever get in. Households understood this 2,400 years ago. So what made us forget? The real breakdown isn't outside. It's the moment a mosquito crosses your threshold. That's the failure right at the door. Every spray, every candle, every zapper promises relief, but only after the invader is already inside. Families pay for solutions that chase the problem around the living room, never stopping it at the source. The market is built on this delay. You buy, you reapply, you repeat. Each season, the cycle starts again. The decisive battle isn't in the air, on your skin, or in a chemical cloud. It's at the door. That's where the outcome still hangs in the balance. Yet, somehow, the simplest defense, a barrier at the entry, keeps getting pushed aside. Why are we always fighting the war after it's already lost? Herodotus, writing in the 5th century BC, describes a scene that feels strangely familiar. In Egypt, where the Nile's floodplain bred clouds of biting insects, people didn't reach for a potion or a powder. They hung a casting net, fine, tightly woven linen, around their sleeping space. The idea was direct: keep mosquitoes out rather than fight them after the fact. Linen threads, spaced close enough to block a gnat, formed a barrier that let air pass but stopped the real threat. Archaeological finds back this up. Fragments of plain weave linen, mesh openings barely 2 millimeters wide, have surfaced in late antique Egyptian homes. The method predates any chemical repellent by more than 2,000 years. No poisons, no burning oils, no elaborate rituals, just a simple net used night after night. The oldest surviving mosquito defense is exclusion, not extermination. Even then, the logic was clear. If they can't get in, they can't bite. But that clarity would not survive the centuries unchallenged. By the late 1800s, American homes had a new line of defense. Wire mesh screens, once a novelty, started appearing on windows and doors from coast to coast. Gilbert and Bennett's painted wire cloth hit the market in 1861, and within a generation, advertisements in city papers called screens a household essential. The 1880 census tracked a boom in wire cloth manufacturing, proof that demand was everywhere. By the time Sears, Roebuck, and Comey listed screen doors in their catalog, the idea had taken root: keep the air moving, keep the bugs out. Through the early 20th century, screen doors became as ordinary as a kitchen sink. Builders installed them as a matter of course. By 1950, the Census of Housing recorded that most new homes came standard with screened openings, no longer a luxury, not even a selling point. They were just there, as expected, as a front step. Generations grew up hearing the slap of a wooden screen door, feeling the rush of cool air at dusk, never worrying about what might fly in. Barrier thinking wasn't a trend or a gimmick. It was simple, everyday wisdom, until something else arrived to convince America it was out of date. December 1944. In Naples, U.S. Army medics moved through bombed-out streets, dusting civilians with a new chemical, DDT. The powder falls like snow, coating skin, hair, and clothes. Typhus outbreaks vanish almost overnight. Newsreels call it a miracle. For the first time, chemical control looks like modern progress: clean, scientific, unstoppable. The message spreads far beyond the war zone. Chemistry is the future, and old barriers are relics. 2 years later, Army labs in Maryland produce another breakthrough. DEET, first tested on soldiers in jungle training, promises protection by the drop. It is patented in 1946, but the real transformation comes in 1957 when the government signs off for public use. Suddenly, every hardware store shelf fills with cans and bottles stamped with military pedigree. Repellents become a household staple. Spray, reapply, repeat. The cycle is set. Meanwhile, American homes are changing from the inside out. Air conditioning, once a luxury, starts to spread after the war. By the 1950s, units hum in living rooms from Houston to Atlanta. By 1980, over half of all homes are sealed tight, cooled by Freon and compressors. Windows close, screen doors disappear, and the idea of a breezy open house fades. Mosquito control is no longer about keeping them out. It is about treating the air, the skin, the space you already live in. The promise is comfort, but the trade is constant vigilance and another trip to the store. The war at the threshold is quietly replaced by a chase with no finish line. Every can of spray, every scented candle, every bottle of repellent comes with a hidden demand. Use it again. The promise is always temporary. Labels warn you to reapply every few hours, to retreat your home after each rain, to keep buying if you want the bugs to stay away. This is not an accident. It is a business model. The multi-billion-dollar mosquito control market thrives on expiration. Products are designed to fade, to run out, to keep you coming back for more. Companies do not just sell relief, they sell the need for more relief tomorrow. Seasonal spray programs have turned mosquito control into a subscription. Once you sign up, you are locked into a cycle: monthly visits, annual renewals, auto pay contracts. The protection you buy is always on a timer. As soon as it wears off, the threat returns, and the only answer is another purchase. Even public health guidance often puts chemical treatments front and center, pushing sprays and lotions as the primary defense. Hardware barriers, screens, mesh, anything that blocks entry are relegated to a footnote, if they are mentioned at all. It is a system that profits from the recurrence of the problem. The marketplace rewards solutions that expire, not those that endure. If a $3 mesh curtain can stop mosquitoes at the door for years, it threatens the entire cycle. That is the conflict at the heart of this story: a throwaway product line versus a one-time fix. So why does the market keep selling us the chase instead of the finish line? The answer lies in what happens every time a solution is built to last. Peer-reviewed field trials cut through the noise. In Western Kenya, researchers screened the eaves of 120 homes and counted the difference. Houses with mesh barriers saw indoor mosquito numbers drop by nearly half, 40 to 46% fewer female anopheles, the main malaria carriers. In the Gambia, the story repeated: 2 screen doors and 2 screen windows per house, and mosquito entry plunged by as much as 77%. That protection didn't fade after a few weeks. It lasted for years. Public health teams at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine now treat screening as a core intervention, not a side note. The science is blunt. A barrier at the door works, and it works without leaving a chemical trace behind. No pesticide residue on the floor where a toddler crawls. No aerosol settling on a pet's fur. Just a physical shield. No reapplication. No hidden risks. The evidence doesn't argue. It just sits there, undeniable, waiting for someone to act. A magnetic mesh curtain changes the equation at the door. The mesh itself is engineered with openings under 1.2 millimeters, tight enough to block mosquitoes, but open enough for air to move freely. The center seam snaps shut with a line of small magnets, closing automatically after every pass. There is no latch to fumble, no need to remind kids or guests to close the door behind them. The curtain covers the full height and width of a standard doorway, attaching with adhesive strips or push pins in minutes. Once installed, it stays put through the whole summer, holding its seal after thousands of openings and closings. The price? About $3, less than a single can of repellent or a week of scented candles. While independent head-to-head trials against chemical sprays are still rare, the logic is hard to ignore. A barrier at the threshold, always on, no chemicals, no timer. The real contest isn't about which product smells nicer or lasts longer. It's about whether the problem is stopped at the entry or allowed to walk right in. Right now, billion-dollar brands still push sprays and candles that fade fast, demanding you buy again. A mesh barrier just works. No chemicals, no cycle, no catch. We haven't outsmarted the problem. We just stopped trusting the simplest fix. Sometimes the answer really is on your doorstep. Share your thoughts below.